in order for us not to remain like that, but rather in order for us to develop, the Creator awakens all kinds of suffering, problems, troubles that force us to think about a different state. And He also gives us a direction towards that different state by awakening among us egoistic relations, egoistic perceptions, egoistic kinds of development that eventually by themselves bring us to the understanding that we must transcend to a different perception of reality, to a different world, to a reality which is above reason. And the entire change in the perception of reality, shifting from one world to the other, depends on man's perception. Does that person have his own individual perception, and then he accepts the world the way that we accept it, and then it is impossible to feel any other reality with that personal perception, or the person starts to connect with others, and out of the connection with them, when he is drawn to such connection, he obligates himself to be connected with others. Then accordingly, he reaches a perception of reality which is through the connection, when he starts to think about how is it good for the group, for the 10, or even for the whole of humanity. However, he already starts to identify with others outside of himself. Then, out of identifying with them, he starts to feel as though through them he's accepting the perception of reality, how the perception of reality should appear in everyone. And that is already a spiritual perception of reality, because he's rising above his ego, called the will to receive, or GUF, body, to a different perception in a common desire between him and the others, which is called NESHAMA, soul. And this is how he receives a new perception of reality. Therefore, transitioning from the physical, corporeal perception to a spiritual perception means transitioning from the personal, individual perception of the person to a perception where that the person starts to feel when he is in a group perception or general collective perception. Therefore, it says here, Israel, those who want to discover the true reality will not return to their land, meaning they will not ascend to their true will to receive. Land is desire, until they are all in one bundle, meaning only by connecting between them, they acquire this desire called the land of Israel, a desire that is aimed straight to the Creator. Or, as it says, Israel will not be redeemed, meaning rise or raising themselves from the degree of personal perception, egoistic perception, until they are all in one bundle. This is really the same, until they build the kli, and this kli doesn't feel myself, me, in each one, but rather us, the feeling of us, which is at least two, and the more it is, the broader and stronger the kli is, and then the person starts to feel a totally different reality. Comes out of these definitions of place, time, motion. He loses his individuality, and once the egoistic perception disappears from him, he already starts to feel, and it is called in faith above reason, in with the force of bestowal above the force of reception, he starts to feel the spiritual reality, which is an eternal and complete reality. And it doesn't depend at all on the individual perception of the person.